Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today on the show, I have a fellow by the name of Vass. He's on the show today to talk about a new product that he's going to be launching here on April 11th called Keyword Swarm. It's a very interesting product. It's going to actually involve, it's very similar to Google Analytics, and Vass is on the show today to talk a little bit about that. And, welcome to the show, Vass.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So, do you want to kind of talk a little bit about how you got involved with online marketing, entrepreneurship?
Sure. It was my freshman year of college when the ish hit the fan and I had to start making money. And I realized that I didn't want to have a job. So I was trying to brainstorm ideas and figure out a way to make money from home. I'm sure a lot of people have had a similar experience where they're either fed up with a job. Well, I was sort of in the position of I didn't yet have to get one, but I knew that the day when I would have to get one was coming. So if I wanted to make something happen, I had to move fast. And I decided to start a video company. And my video company outsourced videos, play buttons for people out to India, and I would make a high markup based on the orders that I would get in. So somebody would say, I need a 30-second video that presents my software or something like that.
Sure.
And I would write a script for it. I would order the background music. I would go to Fiverr and find somebody to do a voiceover for me, and then send all those details over to the animators and say, make it happen. And whatever they would come up with would always be creative. I paid them well, and they treated me well with timely deliveries. So it was a nice business, and I actually sold it this past December of 2013 to a nice lady down in Florida, and now she has taken over. And since December, since I've sold that company, I decided to focus more on product launches, and now I'm in the internet marketing arena as far as creating tools and software products that other people out there can enjoy to make their lives a little easier.
Sure, awesome. So, I mean, are you kind of doing this full time now, or are you still working a day job? Like, what's kind of the background? I know you said obviously, coming from a college background, and now you've gotten involved in obviously internet marketing is kind of the big thing now with everybody's doing product launches.
I'm doing this full time. I'm doing half and half product launches and affiliate marketing. The product launch side means I have to oversee a bunch of software engineers. I have some really smart folks that are working on a couple of different products that are in the pipeline. And then on the affiliate marketing side, I'm helping other people make more money by promoting their products for them for a commission payment. And they usually reciprocate back and help me with my launches. So it becomes like a perpetual wheel, and
Sure.
I don't see it grinding to a halt anytime soon. So hopefully I won't have to be getting a job.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
yeah, I totally hear you. It's actually funny for me. I just got a full time. I left my full time job in the
Hmm.
tech support role, and then I got a new job, but now I do e-commerce work full time for
Okay.
so it's like I'm kind of doing internet marketing for my day job now. So
What kind of e-commerce work?
it's like the guy basically was able to patent a mitten that's selling really really well on Amazon. Like the product has almost 500 reviews, and he's got a patent on it, and he manufactures it out of China, has it delivered to a small warehouse that they have here locally in Massachusetts,
Huh.
and they sell like on multiple platforms like eBay, Amazon, and then through a new website that they're going to be building based off the Magento platform.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, so that's kind of I just thought it's funny because everybody's like trying to get away from the 9 to 5, and I was kind of able to like transition, and now I can still like do the internet marketing stuff as well as like learn the whole e-commerce side of marketing on online entrepreneurship.
Well, there's just so much to learn, and to anybody out there just starting out, there becomes a moment where you stop working in your business and you start working on your business. And
Yeah,
when you realize that, it's always liberating because you realize that, okay, I have a really solid grasp on these things, but it takes a lot of hard work to get there. So I
yeah,
see why it feels intimidating, especially if you have responsibilities and you have to maintain a job and maintain household responsibilities and learn all this internet marketing stuff. There's just not enough time in the day. But look, the bottom line is everybody has 168 hours in a week.
mm,
Everybody's doing it somehow, and everybody out there is really doing their best. And as long as you're doing your best and you're slightly above mediocre, people will listen. People will be receptive to your message. So I'm really happy to hear that e-commerce things are going really well for you. That's really neat, and I think e-commerce is only going to be booming for years to come.
yeah,
What do you think?
yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, it's cool because I can like sit and talk to my boss about other things like in online marketing, and it's not like, whereas like in my old job, it would be very frowned upon to be, I couldn't exactly be on Amazon at work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's definitely a complete change. But I know you mentioned something I really was curious about, and I've heard of other folks doing this and having a lot of success. Was you said you've hired some folks to help you with this particular piece of software to help you
Hmm.
kind of develop this from scratch. Like, how did you really go about that? If someone was out there listening and they were interested in, a lot of people might. I feel like most people probably just think, well, I don't have the skills to develop a WordPress plugin. I could never launch something like that. But really, you can outsource and find people that have those skills, and you can pay them to create something for you.
Well, with this particular product that I'll be showing you in a little bit, I knew that I would need a lot of help because I myself am not a programmer. I'm an
Sure.
entrepreneur, I connect the dots, but I don't know any of the nitty-gritty details of how the code works itself. So when you're in that position, it's really important to have people that are not only skilled, but that can communicate well, that can understand what you want when you're telling them what the software needs to do, they need to be able to understand you and ask you questions and tell you, this isn't going to be feasible under WordPress's, guidelines or something like that. And if
Mm.
they're not able to tell you that they understand each task fully, or if they're not able to tell you that this task is impossible to complete, then you'll be under the impression that they're working on something that they're really not able to work on. So it takes a lot of trial and error. Again, with trying your hardest and doing your bestest. It's literally about how many connections you have. So if somebody out there wants to outsource and has never delegated a task to somebody else in their life, my best advice would be, go out there and try it. Spend a little bit of money and take that little bit of risk to see what the possibilities are and see what the challenges are. Because no matter what you're outsourcing, it's going to have its own unique set of challenges. Somebody who is outsourcing articles to college graduates, for example, might have a different experience than somebody outsourcing videos to India.
Sure.
The questions that will emerge through that process will vary. They'll more or less be oriented towards communication, and as long as you're able to be honest and trust each other, you'll be able to create products. So it takes a little bit of a leap of faith to, I guess, trust that somebody's going to get the task done.
Mm.
And if you're outsourcing and building teams, I would say don't be afraid to hire multiple people to do the same task. For example, with this plugin that I'm about to show you, I've hired not one, not two, but three separate programmers from three different countries
Hmm.
because I didn't know who was going to be the best one to do the job. And frankly, when I was hiring them, I knew that there would be some margin of error. In other words, one or two of them weren't going to complete the job. Right,
Hmm.
and that ended up happening. Two people that I've contacted and contracted with are still working with me, but one had to go, and that's just because they weren't responsive to emails. Something as simple as replying to emails or Skype pings or Facebook messages or whatever your chosen
Sure. Sure.
communication is. It shows a lot. It shows that you're there. It shows that you have a pulse and that you have a beating heart and you're not just making empty promises of, oh yeah, I'll code this later, pay me now. It's
Mm.
never a good position to be in.
Right. Now, are you? I mean, frankly, I've been using Odesk quite a bit as of
Mhm.
recently. Is that what you're using for outsourcing, or are you using a different platform?
I'm
Something
using
maybe
Odesk.
you are okay.
Yeah, I've also used freelancer.com before. I've just had more luck with Odesk. I
Sure.
don't know why.
Yeah, I think Odesk is great. I know I had put out a job to maybe develop something with Magento, but we decided to
Mhm.
kind of go against it. But it was amazing to see how many different programmers were ready to jump on top of it.
I think there's an added benefit in having somebody in your office working for you right there, next door.
Sure.
You can have that added level of supervision. But frankly, I'm not much of a micromanager. I just want to give you the requirements and have it done. And
Mm.
if you can get that done for me, you're a superstar in my book. If you're a skilled programmer, there's no reason why you shouldn't take a page with 5 requirements and just get it done. I don't want to see it, halfway done. I want to see it done. When it's ready for presentation, I want to see it. I'm in that, instance. I'm the customer. I don't want to see a work in progress. So
Right.
if they're able to do it, I want to work with them over and over and over again. And that goes for anybody out there doing any sort of service. If you're a SEO guy doing online marketing, if you're an SEO guy doing offlining, if you're a list builder, if you're an internet marketer, just do what you do really well, and people will reach out to you.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's just all with kind of consistency and focus, you know.
Mm-hmm. Dig in
So
a safe place. Do what works.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So do you want to talk a little bit about your product? I know we haven't even really, you know, we've kind of been leading up to this, and figured you could kind of
Sure.
share
Oh
what
yeah.
it is and.
I'm actually really excited to show it to you because nothing like it has ever been developed before with such a specific focus on WordPress. And the reason I say that is because when you're familiar with Google Analytics, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'm in there all the time, probably looking at stuff more often than I need to be.
Well, you can now do that inside of WordPress without sending all your data over to a big corporation. It's sort of a privacy thing for me. I've developed this tool to use in-house, but I've decided to make it available to the public because I realized that a lot of people out there who have WordPress sites might share the same concerns. I don't want any other company to have the most precious thing that I have with any of my websites, and that's my data.
Hmm.
That's who's visiting my website, when are they visiting it, why are they visiting it. All of that should stay with me. It's sort of like between me and my doctor sort of thing,
Sure.
except I don't really, need that doctor anymore. I can be my own doctor. So this tool empowers you to do what another company used to have to do for you. Now you can just do it yourself.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I like kind of I feel like a lot of people lately, I've just been seeing like these software tools coming out, and it's almost like people are copying each other and adding little things to, like they're not really coming out with anything unique, I feel like.
Well, with this tool, we have a couple of unique features, and I want to show them to you now. You mind if I share my screen with you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure, cool. Let me grab my mouse over here.
I guess I know most people that are probably going to be probably listening to this versus actually watching on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So if, you can explain kind of as we go through it, just so the listeners can actually get an idea of what it is the tool is all about.
I'll be assuming that somebody out there is listening in on this and not really watching, so I'll take care to explain everything thoroughly. Can you see my screen right now?
Yep.
Okay, so for everybody out there who are watching, and you can also see my screen, this is Keyword Swarm. That's the name of the software, and the logo is up top right here. And this is the first screen that you see when you get to Keyword Swarm. Now over here there's a little timer, and it's counting the time right now. You might be able to see it. It refreshes the front page of the plugin once a minute. And that's because it shows you real-time statistics as visitors are coming on your website. So if you're running any sorts of ads, maybe pay-per-click ads, or maybe you're publishing content on social media, as your visitors are coming on your site, this gets updated. And it's also color-coded, which makes it really easy for you to see exactly what the visitor is. There are different kinds of visitors out there. The purple ones are visitors with keywords. The orange and the green ones are known users from mobile and from an actual browser. The ones that are in orange are using a computer browser, and the ones in green are using mobile. The ones that are in white are denoted as human visitors, and the ones in gray are denoted as bots or crawlers. And we're about to refresh in 1 second. And here we go. We have fresh new data. It's constantly coming on the screen right here as visitors visit. On the right-hand side of the plugin, there's an Export to CSV button. And if you click that, it gives you a comma-separated values file that downloads to your computer and gives you those real-time statistics as a sort of a snapshot. Are you following me so far?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. So if we keep moving down the side of the screen on the right-hand side, we can actually see what technologies that browser, that particular user has installed. This one, for example, only has QuickTime. There's one below that that has Microsoft Silverlight and Adobe Flash Player. There are little icons that display this and tell you exactly what technologies you can cater to. This guy at the bottom here has Macromedia Director, Adobe Flash Player, Windows Media Player, QuickTime, Real Player, Microsoft Silverlight. So you can use this data to custom tailor your content to your audience. Here's why this is valuable. If you are, whoops, looks like I just timed out there. Let me go ahead and refresh. Here it is. If you are using a lot of Flash on your website, for example, we know that these visitors all have Flash. They all have a little red Flash icon next to their IP address. If you're using a lot of Flash and your visitors don't have Flash installed, this plugin will let you find that out. And without this knowledge, you're literally just stumbling through the dark woods. You don't know what you're doing. If you don't know if you should be catering to Flash, then you shouldn't be catering to Flash. Okay? If you're spending a lot of money on logos or banners or maybe Flash games or anything that requires, you know, any of these things like Microsoft Media Player or QuickTime, and your visitors don't have those installed, then you're wasting their time, you're wasting your time. Simple as that. Are you following me so far?
Sure, yep.
This menu right here, on the left-hand side, there's a couple of options. So we're on to function number 2. This is traffic snapshot. Tells you some more real-time statistics, tells you exactly who's online on your website right now, shows you your top traffic sources, shows you who is sending you your leads, shows you where they land, shows you the top pages right here. There's also a little window here called Spy View, and this is sort of like a heat map, but less visual, I guess. This Spy View here tells you which pages they visited and in what order. So you can scroll through and see what was the path that the visitor took through your website, almost like having a glimpse inside the brain of your visitor. Over here you have some rankings summaries. You can move all of these things around, as you can see here. And all of this is highly customizable, so you can have the most pressing information directly in front of you as you wish to have it. And up top here, there's a filter. So, for example, you can get a traffic snapshot of people who only use Chrome. Or you can set up a custom filter for people who are only from the US. There are a lot of functionalities with this sort of filtering. Does that make sense?
Yep, yeah.
Cool. Let's move on to page number 3. This is audience analysis. It's just more real-time statistics. Tells you a percentage breakdown of visitor duration, for example. Here we know that an average visit only lasts under 30 seconds for most visitors. In fact, only about 14.29% actually spend between 1 and 3 minutes on my website. So this tells me that maybe I should have more engaging content. Maybe I'm not asking people to stick around my website for long. Maybe I don't have enough articles. Maybe my articles aren't long enough. So without this knowledge, I wouldn't even begin to wonder any of these questions. Now, as you're watching me click through these little tabs, or as you're listening in and sort of trying to absorb this, it might feel like content overload. It might feel like I'm talking about rocket science here. But the truth is, these aren't rocket science sort of formulas. These are just pieces of information that you could have been capturing before, but you haven't been. So what this means is that you need to make sense of all of this information, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So what Keyword Swarm does is it actually explains all of this information for you. All of these graphs are super easy to understand. Inside of the last tab, in the configuration, you can actually enable and disable certain elements to make it more or less newbie-friendly, more or less pro-friendly, to either condense the design of it, to kind of feel like it's giving you less of an information overload. That way you're not looking at things that don't matter, because it does tell you a lot. For example, here in the configuration, under display, we have a function called convert IP addresses. And what this one lets you do is, if you identify a specific bot, maybe it's the Bing bot or the Google bot, or maybe it's a spammer or a hacker, and you know what their IP address is, you could select yes in this menu, and you'll get to label that IP address so you can recognize it later on. And that way, all the spammers and all of the bots are in the same category, and you know the exact breakdown of who your traffic is. This is really about knowledge. It's about empowering you to build a better website. We can track registered users. We can block usernames by IP addresses and by their usernames. There are a lot of different customizations, and for all the security freaks out there that are afraid that Keyword Swarm might somehow compromise their WordPress installation, you should know that this software installs into a separate database. It installs into WP_KWS, and that's for Keyword Swarm. So it's actually not occupying the same exact database as your main WordPress installation. And that's what a lot of
Hmm.
other plugins do. They'll infiltrate your original WordPress database, and if something goes wrong with the plugin, the whole website could be at risk. So that is not the case with Keyword Swarm. So I think I've given you a pretty neat little summary of what this plugin can do. Those who get this plugin will be able to learn everything about it. There will be a video course about WordPress available as a one-time offer after they order. And that's for all the people out there that are buying this, not for the PLR package, but for the actual functionality. And I'll talk about the PLR package, the private label rights, in a little bit. I just wanted to leave on a positive note and go over to Global Overlook. This is probably my favorite feature here. You can find a similar feature in Google Analytics, but this is done by ammap.com. It's a free tool that they make available to developers, and we took advantage of it to bring you this. This gives you a summary of where your traffic comes from. You can simply click on any country and see exactly how many visitors are coming to it and what the percentage breakdown is. For example, for this test website that we've installed it on, 7 unique IP addresses have rung from the United States, which is about 63%. And we have a color-coded heat map over here that pretty much tells you exactly where your visitors are coming from. So you can start with the geography and then work your way up to technology. So like I mentioned earlier, who has Flash? Who has QuickTime? All of those things matter, but you should really start with the geographical overlook, and that's why the global overlook is my favorite feature.
Hmm.
So has that been a pretty thorough demo? What do you think?
Yeah, seems like a really good demo. The tool looks like quite extensive. I could see that a lot of time and effort was put into it, and the way that it's been built, it's not like a crummy, you know, it definitely has a lot of time, and I can tell the development aspect of it and all the features are really there, you know.
Well, if you think that, then you're really going to love the price. The price is set at $17. And
Yeah.
as I said earlier, we're throwing in the PLR package, which means you're going to have the private label rights, which means you can resell it, you can give it away, you can do whatever you want with the software. It's yours 100%. So if you want to give this out to a list that you're building, maybe as a freebie for them to sign up, you can do that. If you want to sell it for $47 or $97, you can go ahead and do that. I don't care. I just want to get this out into as many people's hands as possible so they can understand the power of data. I've understood only years later how much data really means, and I hope that this tool puts data within the reach of somebody who's starting out with WordPress, somebody who's starting out with building websites and doesn't have a background in statistics or accounting or finance or economics or anything like that.
Right.
With the graphs, we make it really easy. With all the different sections and the way you can combine them and move them around, we make it user-friendly. And with the price, we're making it super affordable. And in case somebody out there who gives it a try doesn't like it, we are offering a 14-day money-back guarantee. So for 2 full weeks, you're basically having a free trial to try it out. If you don't like the software, you get your money back. And that's my, not just a rock-solid guarantee, but a personal promise.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a great price, and I know obviously analytics. You know, a lot of people that's probably what they're using, and it is free. But there's definitely some features you have, like especially the feature about the kind of like QuickTime and Adobe Flash and the differences there, like showing people like that kind of stuff. That's just something I've never seen before when it comes to tracking visitors.
I mean, I personally had no idea that that sort of information could even be identified based on a little bit of code that you can install inside of a browser. I mean,
Sure.
it tells you a bunch of information down to the version of the browser. So we're not dealing with, oh, this user is using Chrome. We're dealing with this user is using Chrome version 33. So if you are kind of like an analytical mind and you are familiar with numbers and you are familiar with split testing and you are familiar with making content friendly for different browsers. In other words, if you're an advanced user, you're going to get much more information than you've ever been able to get from any comparable product out there on the market. By the way, most of those products out there, they charge a monthly fee. And there are no monthly fees with Keyword Swarm.
Yeah, no, I think it's great value in what it is that you're going to be offering. I mean, obviously, so long as there's no like, crazy bugs or like, anything that's coming up in that nature, but it looks very solid.
we're going to be supporting the software. I understand that the nature of
Mm,
releasing a product is such that sometimes bugs will come out,
sure.
but we've been beta testing it for about a week now. We have fine-tuned and tweaked every little piece that was a little bit out of alignment. Most of the code was in place weeks ago, but we just needed to spend those couple of weeks to fine-tune and look at it with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that we pick out all the little flaws that are still present, and we went ahead and fixed everything up to our knowledge. Now, new things might emerge, but we're going to be there every step of the way. Every
Yeah,
time a new bug is reported, we're going to correct it.
sure. So I had two questions for you, I guess, just that have come up that I've thought about. The name of the product itself, it almost sounds like to me like almost like a keyword research tool.
Mm-hmm.
Where did the name come from? Like, how did you kind of come up with that name based on what the
Sure.
product is?
Keyword Swarm was named because I was looking at a list of about 10 or 15 names, and through process of elimination, through process of bouncing ideas off of my partners and fellow internet marketers out there, I've decided to go with Keyword Swarm. I think there may have been another product actually released under a similar name, but that was an ebook, and it was never really popular. When I was looking up Keyword Swarm, I found it, and it looks to be like an outdated product. So I hope that doesn't cause much confusion, and I really think the Keyword Swarm captures the idea of the project. The main idea was to create a superior keyword tool, but what it has become is much more than that. Keywords drive your traffic. I mean, the purpose of any analytics tool is to see that data. Who is looking at what, and how are they getting to my site? In a nutshell, you want to know that person X came to your website because they typed in thing Y. If you can make that equation, you're going to be able to learn a lot of insight about your audience. So that's how we started, and it's evolved to be a much bigger tool. But I feel like naming it Keyword Swarm also allows me to succinctly communicate the power of this tool. So that's how I named it. Thank you for asking, by the way. That's a good question.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because when I heard about the product name, I thought, well, it sounds like a keyword research tool, like just from the name of it, because it's keywords, and I don't know. I thought I remembered. I can't remember the name of it, but there was something else that maybe had like a similar name to like swarm in it in keyword, but I can't. I don't think it was an ebook of any kind, but maybe something keyword research related. I just don't remember what it was
There is
called.
a bonus that's going to come on the front end. I didn't want to release it before, but I think I'm ready to drop the name of this one. It's going to be for all those people out there looking to get an SEO tool. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull up the delivery page so I can show you exactly what you're going to get once you order. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you. Here it is. Download Keyword Swarm, Master Resale Rights. Right-click on the plugin image to save as. Once you download it, you're going to be able to save your Master Resale Rights certificate, and there are a couple of free bonuses that I've decided to throw in. The first one comes from my good friends James and Christy, and it's your chance to get interviewed for an internet show just like this one. Just like the one you're watching or listening to right now, you can get access to their limited mastermind list and actually be interviewed. And that comes in handy if you're going to buy this for the master resale rights. Because what you're going to need is you're going to need traffic to your offer, you're going to need attention, and you're going to need eyeballs glued to that screen. So there's no better way to do it than to get interviewed. So that's the first bonus. Discover the little-known secrets of generating free website traffic from YouTube. That's on the graphic right here. The second bonus, and that's the keyword tool that I was talking about. It's Cyril Gupta's SEO Harvester G. It is an actual keyword tool. Now, even though Keyword Swarm has the word keyword in it, it is not just a keyword tool. It's a lot more than that. But SEO Harvester G uses a proprietary secret source of keywords to give you great insight. If you click on it, you'll be redirected to this page, and there's a video on it. And here's a little description of it. SEO Harvester G is a unique keyword application that will get you thousands of keywords in any niche you pick in a matter of seconds. All you need to do is enter a a part of the phrase or the keyword, select a few options, and click go. So that's what SEO Harvester G does, and it's yours as a free bonus. It's not advertised on the sales page, but if you're watching this video and if you're going to be getting Keyword Swarm, you're going to be getting SEO Harvester G for free as a free bonus. Even if you're going to ask for your money back, you can keep SEO Harvester G's license as my gift to you.
Wow, yeah, this seems like an awesome deal, especially for the OTO. I actually, I know we talked before we started, but I launched my product about a week ago, and James and Christy also approached me, so I did an interview with them as well, and I know that their product is. I haven't looked at that particular product, but I'm sure, it's good stuff because they seem like really good people as well. So.
It's a great product, and it's always great to have it for free, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, anything, people can give bonuses away. I know I gave a bonus away for a product launch course with mine through Mike from Maine. I don't know if you're familiar with Mike from Maine, but
Yep, I've been on the show.
yeah. So I mean, it's great that you're here, and then you're on all these other interview shows, and it's great to get the exposure and obviously be able to give away.
There needs to be more of these shows. I mean, the best content and the best conversations happen candidly like this.
Yeah.
And allow somebody an opportunity to kind of eavesdrop on it is always great. I'm starting a similar project to this one, and it's called DM Spotlight. I've sent you a link earlier.
Yep.
And that's DM for direct marketing. So I'm interviewing direct marketers of all sorts and of all kinds. There's salespeople, there's entrepreneurs, there's internet marketers. I'm kind of trying to get this big picture idea of what is it like to do the 3 things that you need to do to make money. How do you have an offer? How do you present that offer? And how do you keep progressing? How do you keep getting better? What is that motivation? Is it just improving conversions? Or is it improving the quality of your products? Is it improving the quantity of how many products you come out with?
Sure.
All of those things fascinate me, and the fact that people keep coming out with new products regularly just amazes me. I mean, where do they get the creativity from?
Yeah,
and like you said, some of them out there are just copies of each other, and I can't say that that's respectable. I mean, you should be pushing the envelope, because otherwise you're just wasting people's time who have already tried those other products. So,
right.
It's very exciting to be on your show. It was exciting to be on theirs, and I hope that more people out there who are watching your show or listening in try it out, because there's really no fear of camera or fear of hearing your voice on the microphone once you do it a few times. It's only scary the first couple times.
I put out a podcast kind of like course, I guess, over on the Udemy platform. So it's a great way for people to pick that up and like really learn. If they want to pick that. At first when I started, I was so nervous. I remember, and doing my first interview, and I really had no clue what I was doing. And then you just keep doing it, and you get better.
Yeah, it's like the transition from newbie to pro isn't very clear cut. You just sort of become better. And there's always people that are better than you at what they do. There's always people that are worse at what you do because they're just getting started, and you're seeing their progress. And it's wonderful that you have a product out there about this. Would you mind sending me a link after we're done with the interview? So I can check it out? Great.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I figure we could wrap things up. I know you share quite a bit about your product, and I'll get this posted prior to the launch so people can check it out.
Thanks. And do you have any last final questions or anything like that before we close?
I think we kind of covered quite a bit. I think I'm good. I'm honestly pretty hungry.
Good.
I haven't eaten dinner. It's
Gotcha.
But
Just wanted to make sure I've answered everything. Thank you again so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been a pleasure. Hope to be back on again.
All right. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Bye.